The Crimean peninsula has been occupied by the Russian Federation back in 2014. In the current war against Ukraine, it serves as a military hub for the movement of the Russian army and missile strikes, says Vadim Skibitsky, a representative of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. It is because of the reinforcements from the north of Crimea that the Russian army has the strength to continue the occupation of the southern regions of Ukraine. Therefore, Skibitsky believes the Ukrainian side can use multiple launch rocket systems at military facilities in Crimea because the obligation not to use partner weapons against Russia does not apply to the occupied peninsula. Partner countries agree with this.
This is primarily an accumulation of equipment and ammunition, other materials that are concentrated in the Crimea and then sent to provide for the Russian occupation forces. This is the first. And secondly, you see how actively the Black Sea Fleet of the Russian Federation is used to launch missile attack on our territory. This is also one of the targets that must be hit in order to protect our citizens.
Russia immediately accused Ukraine of preparing terrorist acts. Andrei Klishas, chairman of the Federation Council Committee on Constitutional Legislation and State Building, said that in this case, the war against Ukraine should continue throughout the country. The Crimean bridge, which connects mainland Russia with the occupied peninsula, will become a target for Ukraine to attack at the first technical opportunity. After all, it partially passes through the territorial waters of Ukraine. This was stated by the advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, Oleksiy Arestovych. Earlier, Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Oleksiy Danilov, confirmed this possibility. The armed forces of Ukraine have the right to destroy the bridge which the enemy uses to reinforce their military groups in Crimea. Philip Bridlov, the former commander-in-chief of NATO armed forces, agrees with this.
The Kerch Bridge is a legitimate target. Harpoon missiles could be used to deliver a crushing blow to the bridge that connects the Kerch Strait and the Russian mainland.
Scenarios for the liberation of the Crimea were voiced by Ukrainian political and military leadership more than once. In an interview with CNN, Ukrainian Defense Minister Oleksiy Reznikov said on July the 16th that the weapons of partners, especially the United States, would help deoccupy Donbass and Crimea. These are undeniably Ukrainian territories, though they will be reclaimed. But in turn, Reznikov stressed, Ukraine needs stabilization on the ground first, then we could push the Russian army to a position until February the 24th, and then we'll start the occupation of Crimea and part of the previously occupied Donbass.
We are going to liberate all our territories, everything including Crimea. The peninsula is a strategic target for Ukraine because it is Ukrainian territory. We will move step by step towards the liberation of all our territories.
In one of the rounds of Russian-Ukrainian negotiations, the Ukrainian side proposed to consider the settlement of the Crimean issue through diplomatic means over the next 15 years. So far, this proposal is not relevant because the fate of the Crimea will be decided on the battlefield. The permanent representative of the President of Ukraine in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea, Tamila Tasheva, stated, "Of course, local residents will play an important role in the liberation of the Ukrainian Crimea. Active and caring residents on the peninsula will be the main support during the liberation," said President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky. According to him, the authorities are working to build up international political support for the deoccupation of Ukrainian Crimea. Reported by Pavlo Shtelmach, Yulia Bezborodko, UATV News.